Okay, today we're going to talk about how to make your practice work for you. All right, but first, those of you who are regulars here know that I've been offering Zoom lessons to our YouTube collective. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I have so many of you come from places around the world and have emailed or texted, or we've been in communication. And I just really would love to work with you one-on-one. That's exactly what's going to happen in a Zoom lesson, by the way. You may be wondering, these are not broadcast shotgun, I've already got a plan kind of thing. No, what we're going to do in a Zoom session is work on specific issues. Those of you who have been playing the horn for a while, and quite a few of you are, of course, fit into beginners, but many of you are intermediate to advanced players, and you have intermediate and advanced issues that you'd like to work with. That's what you bring to a Zoom session, right? You bring that one issue or two, and we tear them up for an hour or so, all right? So reach out to me, DaveGoodSax@gmail.com. DaveGoodSax@gmail.com. I'll send you the information. Also use this discount code DGM10. Yes, I'll put that in the comments below. I'll link to it. DGM10. More information at DaveGoodSax@gmail.com. Now, let's talk about how to make your practice work for you, okay? It's a great subject. Now, a lot of the message boards that I read, the questions that are most often asked about practice, especially when there's a pro that's answering questions, is how long do you spend practicing? Eric Marienthal talked about, and he's a marvelous player, by the way. He talked about spending 8 hours a day or more practicing when he was going to school. Just saw a link up with Ernie Watts. Ernie Watts, tremendous player. He talked about practicing maybe 3 hours a day. Trying to think of the amazing flute player. His name will come to me in a minute, but he was talking, doing 3 to 8 hours a day. So big, massive chunks of time, right? Big, huge chunks of time, which I know that you don't have. Again, most of our YouTube collective here are not pro level players looking to audition for Lincoln Center for that slot on Barry sax or bass clarinet or whatever, or you're not going to launch a U.S. tour with your combo. You're playing because you enjoy it, and perhaps you'd like to play with family members, or you want to sit down and do some jam sessions with friends, or you want to get out and play, or maybe even put your own band together, but certainly not at the level that's going to require that kind of practicing, because you're the oil change guy, or you're the mom who has to get kids off to school. You have stuff to do and you have a job, right? So that kind of practice is not going to work for you. Now, the second most asked question is, what do you practice? All right. Kirk Whalum talked about, he said, my stuff is boring. You wouldn't want to do what I do, but he does arpeggios and he works out of some maybe classical etudes, and then Ernie Watts talked about playing along with, practice tracks, background tracks. So did Randy Brecker. He talked about putting on the old Aebersold tracks and practicing his soloing. Those are the kinds of things that, are commonly asked. How long do you practice? How much time do you put in? And what do you practice, all right? And that circles all the way back to you via this comment. I, the other day, bought Michael Brecker's practice diaries. They're available online now. You can buy those. You can download them, and it's about $20. And now I can imagine your minds are going, oh God, I got to get those. Where do I get those, right? Because that's the nature of our universe right now. This whole YouTube world has put so many options and possibilities online for you every couple of seconds of every minute of every hour of every day, that you're just barraged constantly. So I saw these and I said, heck yeah, man, they showed up in my feed, and I said, oh, I gotta have those. So I downloaded them, and I practiced them diligently for about a week. Yeah, until I realized that I wasn't getting better at what I needed to get better at. What I was getting better at were the things that Michael Brecker needed to get better at for his own playing, all right? And when I listened to Kirk Whalum and his practice routine, I realized, he has a career in a business, and I wanted to get, he wanted to get better at things he needed to get better at so that he could deliver on stage when he went to play, and on down the line. Ernie Watts, all the people I check out. And I just think, that's an important distinction. Their practice routine has been developed over years of careful inner work, if you will, or whatever, on what it takes, what they need to do to get better, to deliver the kind of playing that they want to do. Now, those of you, again, who are in the group here with me today, you've been playing for a while. Even if you've only been playing for a short time, 6 months, there are things that you want to get better at. In fact, there's probably a specific issue that you want to get better at. You want to get better at, say, I don't know, you got your 12 major scales down yet? Well, I'll bet you there are a couple of them that are rusty. You need to take a little sandpaper to and work on them, right? How about tone? Tone is always kind of an issue. I bet there are some notes that just don't start up, right? And maybe they don't sound as good as they like. Maybe you creep up a little bit when you go up the range on your saxophone. Maybe you go out of tune. I don't know what it is, but you know what it is, all right? What am I working on? Well, the alto sax, I have developed arthritis in this wrist, and holding the tenor sax is not an option anymore. So it rests quietly on its stand over there. Do I miss it? Yeah, but I'm really coming to love the alto sax because I spend all my time with it. I can play the alto sax and be pain-free. This is a Conn. It's a 6M. Yeah, you're saying, Dave, yeah, you got a pretty good alto sax there. I did. And I think about that every day. This is becoming enough saxophone for me. So I put a band together. And we have a gig coming up. I'm starting up the student jams again, and just the public jams. And we've got a gig in a week, basically a week. In fact, it's even less than a week. And our start-off song is going to be "Coming Home, Baby," and I'm doing it in E minor, which you alto sax fiends know is our C sharp minor, right? So there you go. I'm going to stand up in front of a group, play a saxophone I haven't played in public for about 15 years. On a key that's not really very easy, with a band I don't know, and I've laid on the challenges. Now, would it serve me to, work out of Michael Brecker's book? I mean no disrespect. And if you practice out of his book, and if you practice for, whatever amount of time you have, yes, you're going to get better. But is it going to be the stuff that you actually need, that you want to do, that you need to get better at? No, likely not. And that's what I discovered at the end of the week, all right? So my basic issue that I need to work on is working in concert E minor in eighth note conversational runs. All right, I want to be able to play those, and I run out of ideas. Now, when I'm here in the safe room, right, I'm in the music room, right, and I got my little safe metronome going, and I might click track. Yeah, I'm good. I got it. I'm golden. But when I sit down and work out with another musician, I lose ideas, or I lose tempos, or whatever it is. So that's what I need to be working on. It's working on a Michael Brecker's book? No, it doesn't. So I got together all my materials that have anything to do, with E minor, C sharp minor for us alto sax players. And I work on that stuff diligently. I also work on the set list, right? The heads I need to know in the keys, because we have a vocalist. And as those of you who have played before know, vocalists always change the keys, don't they now? So that's what I'm working on, and I'm making my practice a function of getting better at those things. This is how you make practice work for you. If you practice for half an hour a day, you're going to get worse. I can assure you you're going to get worse, because now you're making practice a function of time, not about mastery. Think about that. I've done my 30 minutes, Mom. I'm done. Or I've done my 30 minutes in my head, whatever. I'm done. I don't even know where the 30-minute rule came from, but if you do 30 minutes a day, you'll get worse. It's about mastery. Pick that one thing and make it better. Make your practice about a thing that you want to improve. And I don't care how many minutes that you spend improving it, but I do care very much that you spend the time that you have to practice getting it better. Now, your superpower is repetition, all right? Repetition is your superpower, meaning that you want to play. Let's just say you played this thing, whatever it is you're working on, your E minor scale, backwards and forwards, or maybe in thirds, or whatever, maybe a pentatonic approach to it. I don't care what it is. Just think about what is it you need to work. What is it you need to get better at? That you want to get better at? That you know you need to get better at? And what if you did that, say, 10 times, 3 times a day? All right. By the end of a week, you've played that a whole lot of times, and I'm going to guess you're going to sound a lot better at it. Okay. So repetition is your superpower. Make your practice about improving a thing, not about an amount of time. Okay. Skype lessons? No, we're not doing Skype. Skype was a platform that just, I don't know, it just failed us, didn't it? We've tried Skype, but Zoom is pretty awesome. For those of you on different points of the earth, let's get together on Zoom. Zoom lessons, DGM10 is your discount code for this month. DGM10 Zoom lessons, and you can get more details at davegoodsax@gmail.com. All right. Thanks for being here. Next week, we will talk about emotion. All right. It's not just enough to do arpeggios. No, it's not just enough to play changes. We'll talk about getting emotion into your playing, okay? So thanks for being here. Again, I'll see you next week. Take care.